Many times have I pulled this shutter up and down. These railings are somewhere where I would really like to forget. As a small child, I came with my mother because one of our relations actually lived down these steps.
Welcome to another video, and it's Saturday the 29th of July 2023 and we're here in Tunstall with Mum, and we're going to have a walk around Tunstall and look at what used to be going on in Tunstall about 60 or 70 years ago.
Hello, we're just here to make a few memories of a long time ago. During the Second World War, I lived in the house right facing you, number 57.
The Black Door.
The Black Door. The reason I lived there is because my mother's sister lived there, and my dad, he was posted in the RAF to North Africa, and my mum didn't want to stay on her own, so we all squeezed into number 57, which was then Windmill Street. It is now Holland Street. 57 is where I had all my memories, and my mother's sister was the only person with a radio. So, as it was during the Second World War, there was a bulletin put on every morning, so people used to come to the house to see what was going on the war, good news or bad news. Very sad that part was. Next door with the white one was a lady named Nellie Badley, and she lived there quite a long time. She was a very pleasant lady. We're moving on now to number 61. 61 was where the Adamses lived, and next door was where the Stocktons lived, and Mrs. Stockton used to arrange bus trips where we all tripped off down to the PMT offices to go to Blackpool and drill.
So the Stocktons lived at number 63?
Yeah, the Stocktons lived at number 63, and then it finished it up at the top corner of the hill ditches.
And then directly in front of me, the white house there, that was Clacker's shop.
Yes, Clacker's shop.
And they sold groceries.
The was George Clacker's grocery shop, and the Black Door was his warehouse. At the time he was the grocer's, and that's where we used to go to get all our rations at the end of the war.
And I think Dad used to work there, didn't he, as well?
And later on, years and years later on, my husband, your dad, worked there for a while. We're looking up and down at the end of the war, had a terrific street party, and it went right from one end of the street to the other. It was great. Memories here at the moment. On this side of the road was where your dad was born, and facing there was the schoolrooms for King Street Chapel. That's where we were married 67 years ago. That's where there was a big oatcake shop. To look now at the white house there, that was where Dr. Fee and Dr. Penny had a practice. That practice has now grown into the Furlong Road practice at Tunstall.
So that's the white building with the windows open, is it?
Yes.
And you say you want to talk about number 1 here?
Yes, that was Cumbledge's grocery shop, and they were in competition, of course, with George Clacker. Down here used to lead directly down to Forster Street School, where I went, and down to the Market Square. Up on the side here, where the wire netting is, was Tynan's shop that was selling newspapers and things like that. And down the bottom of the shop, the street, was Dawson's and they were bread, all sorts of things they were
So
selling.
these new houses here, years ago, were all a row of terraced houses, and they've obviously knocked them
houses,
down.
yes, and Dawson's shop was there, and they used to sell bread, etc. And on the other side of the road, right at the bottom, was a very nice dress shop.
So as I said before, as you're walking down Holland Street here, all these new bungalows were terraced houses. I don't know when they were actually knocked down and these were built. If anybody can tell me that, let me know in the comments. The Tidings news agents that she's on about
Would be
was
there.
actually here.
Yes.
So again, all knocked down and
All knocked
new
down.
houses built.
Yes. This is where Dawson's shop was. Yeah, I used to come here and fetch the bread and get a little treat of a cake.
Apparently here, by where this red car is, and the parking for residents only sign was, there used to be a dress shop. Right, so we're looking down the A Market here now.
Yes, where
And
the
we've
red
got
building.
we've got McGough's here on the left-hand side, and the red building there. From years ago, I can remember it being C&C.
But prior to that, it was a row of terraced houses, and they were knocked down, and C&C took it over.
So
Right.
now we're walking down Forster Street, and straight in front of me I can see the clock tower, and on the right-hand side there's the old school.
The old school, yes. Girls at the bottom, boys at the top, infants right down at the bottom end.
So the old school, it looks like it's going to reopen as an Islamic school. So they must be doing it all up and getting it ready to open. So as I say, we're walking down Forster Street and we're on the corner of Phoenix Street, and I'm just going to look down to the bottom of Phoenix Street, and straight in front of me at the bottom is where the old Golden Torch was, and that was a cinema.
And a dance part. And a dance ballroom. We're now looking at the pet shop, and we've had many a pet from there.
So the pet shop was at flat number 1, the grey door.
Yes, we shall miss that. There was various people here. There was there was hairdressers and one or two little bits and bobs of shops. The yellow building was a furniture shop called Oaks's, and it was very, very nice.
So the white shop next door, was that Tommy's, the pharmacy?
No, the white building down there was Tommy's.
Well, there's only...
That was the exit from the infant school there, and where the railings are was a row of terraced houses. My auntie lived there, so I used to come out of the school and into her house and wait to be collected.
In front of me there, with the white door and the white windows, used to be Tommy Preston's fishing shop. So we're approaching Tower Square now in Tunstall, and you've got the clock tower in front of me. The shop there with the white surround on it, it was Movie Time. That was owned by Bill James, and they used to rent videotapes and movies. Straight in front of me there, there used to be a chapel called Wesley Street.
The church shop there, that was Moon's Solicitors. Next door to it again was...
So when you say next door, is that where they now...
No,
where they say
still on the
foods?
same block. There's a hairdresser's there and a cafe. Next to it where the homemade food and Caribbean foods is, that was the PMT offices. And Modern Nails, that was a cake shop. The PMT offices is where the buses on Potter's Holidays started from. So if you wanted to go to Blackpool or Rill, you caught a bus there. Is where plants were sold every week, and there was usually loads of them taking the whole of this space up, and that's where we bought our plants. Oddfellow Arms has got quite a lot of history from the World War II. It got its name because when the war finished, everybody brought clothes here for people to pick up, and it finished up with people picking up odd shoes or odd clothes or anything, and that's how it got its name, as the Oddfellow Arms.
Right, so under the clock tower here, there used to be men and ladies toilets, and you used to walk down steps and go down under the clock tower to the toilets. So we're now looking at the shops, and I can't really remember what they are.
They have changed so very much that I'm just going to tell you of a few that I remember. Starting with the Oddfellow Arms, there was a law court, bargain booze, a bank, upstairs was a hairdresser's, there was a cafe run by people named Pope. Next door to that was the Middlebrooks Drapery. That was a big shop where you could go and buy cottons, needles, etc. Next, below that, was the Modern Stores. That was where you could go and buy your boiled ham and all bits and pieces from. Next door to that was a chemist run by a man named Mr. Inchco, and he was a very, very well-known man at the time. Then you came to the jewellers.
So looking across there, we've got Wright's Pies. I can't remember what that was before. We've got the opticians. I think that's been there for years.
I can tell you this now. We're going to start from where it says Portell Christian Church. Next to it used to be Lily's Wine Shop. There was a flower shop, a pram shop, a bike shop, Ainsworth Sweet Shops, the Co-op Emporium.
So which one was the bike shop?
Below the Hanwell's Opticians, where the loft was.
And the Coral used to be the Co-op, am I right to say?
That used to be the Co-op, yes.
And then you've got the Sneed Arms Hotel.
Between the Co-op and the Sneed Arms was Lillian's Sandwich Place. Down, as you're looking now, is the Boulevard, and at one time down there used to be Barbara's Picture Palace and the Ryan Hall, where there was a lot of entertainment going on, and eventually you came to where the station was, and at that time you could catch a train locally all the way through Burslem, Hanley and through to Stoke, etc.
So we're now walking onto Main High Street, and in front of me I'm sure was a bank. Do you know which bank that one was?
Not West. I thought it, no, not West.
So I'm walking up the High Street now, and the Sports and Leisure shop on the corner there in front of me, that used to be the MEB. We've got here on the corner where the blue sign is, that used to be North Staff Decorators. So we're looking across the road, and as I say, there used to be the old MEB. The Empire shop, that used to be Oaks's.
There used to be from the top there, as we're looking, we used to have the Queen's Pub, and next to that, by where the traffic light is, there was the China shop, there was Meadows Cheese shop, then we came to a big furniture shop which was called Oaks's, then there was the cinema called the Ritz, next to that was Freeman's Shoes, then there was a shop called Keen's Clothes, a bank, and also up the top end was Brian's Clothes. Lots of nailers' shops.
So nailers used to be here, did it? In front of me where
and
the brown door is.
Anything there, anything, clothing, you name it, curtains or anything.
So we're looking up here now, and I'll start from the bottom there, and that used to be North Staff's Decorators, that's the shop on the corner. Tunstall Cafe, I don't know what that was before.
They've changed so much, Glenn, that I can have to tell you, down on the bottom was a wallpaper shop down by Brad's Bargains, and coming up along there was a jeweller's, a bank, There was Brown Brothers Furniture Shop. Now, Dorothy Perkins and
Well, Dorothy Perkins and Burton's, where it says ST6.
Are now closed. There was Greenwood's Men's Shop, Keen's Men's Shop. There was a cobbler's where you could get a quick repair. Then there was a shoe shop. And then we came to the Rumbelows and Alcock's. A lot of the shops are where I've just told you, like Greenwood's, the shoe shop, the cobbler's, the bank.
We're walking up to the corner now, and we've got quite a few derelict shops there.
Yeah.
Subway above it, all the windows are broke, and the pigeons are going in and out. I can't remember what Subway was before.
Right now, in front of where Subway, there used to be the bus stops, because the buses used to come up here.
Well, the bus stop's still there now by the looks of it.
And people were queuing for the buses.
So Toast of the Town, I don't know what that used to be.
Probably one of those times that I've just mentioned. There's been so many little shops on this area that have now gone, and places like Burton's were all little shops turned into big shops.
So what was the shop next to Rumbelows then, which is the posh shop now?
And that one was a shoe shop.
So the shop with the blue shutter, that was Rumbelows. And then next door to it, the dress shop, I'm almost sure that was tip to toe.
It was tip to toe, yes. And then the shop above it, where the blinds are down, that used to be Emmanuel's, and that was where everybody used to go on a Sunday for drinking pops and just generally meeting up.
Coates Furniture and Electric, I don't know what that used to be, can you remember?
Yes, that was the big dress shop.
So that used to be a dress shop,
Yes,
did it?
all round, and it went right the way around the corner.
So we're just crossing the road now, and we're looking at the shops directly in front of me, and they're a right mess. The blue shop, as I said to you before, was Rumbelows. So we've got Tunstall roundabout, that's been there for a good while. So we're looking here at the Admiral. That used to be Shipley's Bingo. Can you remember what it was before?
It's still part of that big dress shop, because the dress shop was up there as well.
So the dress shop used to be above it, did it as well?
Above it, yes.
So then we've got a chip shop and a jeweller's.
Yeah, then we had an umbrella shop and a jeweller's.
So which one was the jeweller's?
Yummy. And then there was a wet fish shop and Cooper Cliffs.
So we're looking at the other side of the road now, the Douglas Macmillan, the MB Electrics, I think that used to be Tico. I don't know what the bingo shop was before. Empire used to be Oakes's, and the others I really can't remember.
Rumbelows, many times have I pulled this shutter up and down. So these railings are somewhere where I would really like to forget. As a small child, I came with my mother because one of our relations actually lived down these steps. It's a very scary thing to walk down as a small child, to walk down those steps and to go in her house, which is black. So you can come and photograph now where the door was to her door where I went in. I used to have to come down these steps here. I was frightened to death, and where you see this black door was where you went into her house. And she was a very old lady then, and she was always dressed in black, which made it even more scary. Right, where we're standing now, the buses used to come up here, all the way up here, round the back of the clock tower, and down here. None of this was here then, and this is where the junction was. and you caught the bus here to Burslem, Hanley, Stoke, etc. A very busy place here.
So if you've enjoyed the video today, give me a thumbs up, drop me some comments, and of course subscribe to the channel, and we will see you on the next video soon.